Welcome to Crankworx World Tour.
Mountain biking's best known trail, A-Line. 2.9 kilometers of flow, 37 opportunities for air. A track with reputation for hang time. The Fox Air DH is all about racers combining speed and flow with the right amount of squashing and scrubbing. The battle for the queen and king of Crankworx is coming down to the wire. Who will claim A-Line bragging rights? Well, we're about to find out. It's the Fox Air DH live from Crankworx Whistler, and it all starts right now.
This is what it's all about. The place to be, Crankworx World Tour.
Several dimensions are shaping victories.
Oh, dig it! So perfect, this is ridiculous.
The best mountain bike riders on earth.
Check the time here. Can he keep it up? He enters the final straightaway. And he crossed the finish line first. He does. Oh, just barely too short.
One queen and one king will claim the title of best all-around mountain biker on the planet.
Well, it all started 14 years ago right here in beautiful Whistler, BC, the epicenter of mountain biking and ground zero for Crankworx. This is your Crankworx World Tour, the fourth and final stop. It's your Fox Air DH on the iconic A-Line. And I'm joined by the gold medal winner of your Air DH 2011, also a bronze medalist in 2009, pro rider Andrew Needling. Needles, why is A-Line so iconic, man?
Well, it's just one of the most famous trails in the world, if not the most famous trails in the world. Bike parks all over the world are coming here and trying to recreate that in their own bike park. It is just so fun to ride. There's a lot of flow, obviously a lot of jumps, and it's just so good for every type of rider and every skill level.
Well, let's get into the particulars on A-Line here and the Fox Air DH.
As we said, it's probably mountain biking's best known trail. It's 2.9 kilometers. 37 opportunities to catch air. There's that many jumps. And you drop about 350 meters of vertical descent. So it's a really long run with so much flow, like we said.
I know you've won this thing before, but it's always changing, isn't it, every year?
Yeah, as much as it's the same trail, every year you've got to go out and you've got to practice because little bumps develop. It's probably the roughest I've ever seen it. So those trail bikes that we spoke about are not going to be that easy to navigate down this course.
Well, talking about some of the riders who are watching your Fox Air DH, maybe if you're new to this, you want to know who to look at, and there's one guy that you definitely have to look at, and the guy that we're talking about is Adrien Lerone. He's already got a win this year on the dual speed and style, but he's a guy you got to pay attention to.
Yeah, he's leading our current king of Crankworx. What's interesting is last year he only got 11th in this Fox Air DH. He needs to go better than that to get some points to go for that title.
Yeah, you got to be in the top 10 to get the points, and if you're leading Crankworx, I like what he did in dual speed and style because he learned tricks that helped him get that win out there and come away with the gold medal. So when you talk about king of Crankworx, you got to talk about Adrien Lerone, especially starting off with a big win. Next guy I want to talk about, Shark Attack Jack Moyer. He's already got a podium in Garbo in third place yesterday, but he's a guy you got to pay attention to.
Yeah, he's our reigning downhill series champion, so we know he's going to be good on all-round courses. He hasn't done that great in this event, but hey, he was on a downhill bike last year. He's going to have another event coming up, but I expect to see some good things out of him in Fox Air DH today.
Yeah, he's almost a cinch, it seems like, to win the downhill series title. He's got a big lead going on, a good showing out here for Jack Moyer. That could really help his cause when it comes down to it. And then you got to talk about the surprise. Bas van Steenbergen, I don't think anyone picked him to win the Fox Air DH last year in Whistler, but he did just that.
No, and we're not taking anything away from his riding capabilities. He just wasn't spoken about before we got to the event. Now there's some added pressure. He won here last year. He knows what it takes, but that adds and adds to that pressure. So I expect him to put in a really good run, but like I said, let's see how he deals with the pressure.
All right, Needle, so when we talk about winners and we talk about the men winners in the Fox Air DH, 3 different winners in 4 years. Okay, that's something to talk about. You look at what the guys have done in the past. You got Stevie Smith 2013, Sick Mick 2014, Stevie Smith again in 15, and Bass in 2016. But how about Jill Kittner, man?
What a contrast. She's going for the 5-peat. She's won it the last 4 years running. She didn't manage to win it back in Rotorua. So you know she's gone home, she's done her homework. She's so suited to this track, Brad. Coming from a BMX background, the jumps, her fitness. I really think it's going to take such an incredible run from the other women to take down that win.
Well, we talk about pressure. You got to think the pressure is going to be on her back to try and five-peat because everyone's going to be gunning for her. Now, let's talk about Crankworx Fantasy. That's right, crankworx.fantasy.com. It's all about that, too, when you want to pick up. Look, we've just given you a bunch of names to think about. You can pick your team. You can win daily prizes. You can win the big prize, and you got time to do it. We've already given you Adrian Larone, Jack Moyer, Bass, Jill Kittner. We've already told you. We've done half the work for you. So if you do Crankworx Fantasy, you can pick your team and see how you stack up with the rest of the world when it comes to Crankworx Fantasy. All right, well, that's Crankworx Fantasy. Let's check in with the third member of our team, Hannah Bernard, standing by. Hannah?
Well, guys, when it comes to race conditions coming into the Fox Air DH, it has been a dry, hot summer here in Whistler. But that is nothing new for A-Line. It always rides a little bit loose in the summer. But what we have seen is that it's a bit more beaten up than past years. We've actually seen large holes formed into the hard-packed dirt. So line choice is going to be huge for the racers coming down the hill today. The biggest change to the track is there is no longer the GLC drop. There is this tabletop coming into the finish corral. And that finish line is where our winners are going to be crowned here today coming into the Fox Air DH.
Thanks, Hannah. So some changes a little bit in the Fox Air DH, but let's take a look at the start list of the women that we're going to be seeing coming down here. Now, look, we've talked about Jill Kittner, but there's a couple other ladies that I do want to talk about. First off, I want to talk about Caroline Buchanan. She was 7th in the Air DH in 2014. That's her best finish, Needles, but this kind of suits her. This shorter course, I think, suits Caroline Buchanan. What do you think?
Brad, let's not count her out. She comes from a BMX background. She said how much she worked on her mountain biking in the off-season. She's been racing downhill races. And this is more of a BMX track than a proper downhill track. So let's, like I said, let's not count Caroline out.
No, definitely not going to count Caroline Buchanan out. And someone else you definitely can't count out when it comes to any DH, Tracy Hanna. She was first in the Garbo DH, but this girl can get it done on a bike when it comes to downhill.
Yeah, she's on a prototype polygon from what I'm hearing based off a trail bike. In previous years, she's raced her downhill bike. So I think she's of smaller stature, so it's really tough for her to carry speed down this track. But I think we're going to see a better run out of her this year.
Well, I'll tell you what, she's trying to see if she can hustle her way into the Queen of Crankworx. And for more on the Queen of Crankworx, let's send it down to Hannah Bernard with an update. Hannah?
Well, you guys have been talking about women to watch in today's contest. There's also a contest that's been going on all season long. That's, of course, the Queen of Crankworx title. Now, all season, we've been talking about two ladies in a two-way race. It's been Caroline Buchanan and Jill Kittner. But with her win in Garbanzo DH yesterday, Tracy Hanna has surpassed Caroline Buchanan with 550 points in the Queen of Crankworx race. Now, all three of these ladies are racing in today, so you got to know it is on their mind coming down this hill in the Fox Air DH today.
You know, and you got to like that because it's not just a two-person race, Needles, when it comes down to it. It's a three-person race for the women when it comes to Queen of Crankworx.
That it is, and we've got so many events still to come throughout this week here, and we're going to crown a champion at the end of the week.
Well, there's a look at your start list that we're going to be seeing for the men as they come down. That's in the order that you're going to be seeing these guys through. You see, you got Mitch Robilat on there. You see Austin Warren, Keegan Wright representing Joe Smith out of Great Britain. He is in there. It's coming all the way down. You see Slavic in there, Bass. He's in there too as well. And those are the final guys. So look, coming back, it's the Fox Air DH. Don't go anywhere. It's coming up.
Trying to make a drivetrain that works better. We're trying to improve upon the things that we had done.
Introducing the all-new SRAM GX Eagle drivetrain. No matter what kind of rider you are or the kind of terrain you might ride, Eagle is simply the best. GX Eagle drivetrains have a range of gears that rival or flat out beat most 2x systems. Engineered in Germany, made for the world. This is GX Eagle.
Crankworx Whistler brought to you by SRAM. Range to realize. That's SRAM. Well, I'll tell you what, it is just about go time for us to start seeing the pros come down. But, you know, you talk about the people, Bass Van Steenbergen. He's the winner from last year, and Needles catching up with him right now with Bass Van Steenbergen.
Bass, you are reigning Fox Air DH champion. You also took a third in Rotorua at the Fox Air DH there. How much more pressure do you put on yourself coming in like that?
A little more. Yeah, I definitely didn't quite expect to win here last year, so now the expectations are a bit different, and I don't know. It should be good, though.
What can you tell us about your bike setup for this race compared to, say, a normal downhill?
So this bike is a 6-inch travel trail bike, and it's kind of like set up as like close to a downhill bike as a trail bike can get, I guess. It has like Saint cranks on it and downhill casing tires and just a smaller cassette. So yeah, it's a lighter downhill bike pretty much.
Yeah, it's proven in past years that these trail bikes are faster down here, but I was up there and it seems the roughest I've ever seen A-Line in all its years. So is it going to be as fast this year versus a downhill bike?
I think so, yeah. I did a couple runs on my downhill bike on it before, and I don't know, I definitely went a lot faster on my trail bike. So I think so. It should be good.
Well, Bass, we wish you all the luck out there.
Thank you.
You got to like that Bass right there. Seems like he's calm, cool, and collect. Doesn't seem like that's affecting him at all with the pressure on his back, Needles.
No, it should actually give him some extra confidence, to be honest. You know, he knows he can do it. He knows this track very well, but let's not count on someone like Jack Moore. I've seen him out there. He's also on a trail bike with 29-inch wheels, so I think there's going to be a lot of added competition.
Well, let's talk about the king of Crankworx. We've already spent a little time talking about the queen of Crankworx. Well, things have been heating up on the king side of things in the race to become the king of Crankworx, and defending king, of course, Thomas Slavic from last year. But Adrian Larone is doing what he can, and look at those points. 625 points. He's in the lead. But Jack Moyer showing up and doing some solid stuff yesterday in the Garbo. He's kind of closed that gap. And you got to think, maybe Jack, you know, you got Mitchell Pilato, he's in there. Slavic, I think, is kind of too far out on this one right now, but I feel like it's a three-way battle. Adrian Larone, Jack Moyer, and Mitch Ropolato for sure. All right, well, I'll tell you what, Kidsworx is such a big deal. We're really trying to breed the next generation of mountain bikers, and in every single one of our stops, it's all about the Whistler kids and all the kids from all over the world. Kidsworx, we call it. It's something very near and dear to our hearts here at Crankworx, and one of the kids definitely want to be making a name for himself. He's on the come up. We'll be seeing him most likely on the podium in future years. This guy by the name of John Moselle, a youngster out there in the mix. But you know what? It's all about just kind of bringing the kids up in the right way, and that's what Crankworx does with Kidsworx.
They've done it so brilliantly. I mean, a guy that's a star now at Crankworx, Troy Brosnan, he came out here in the junior category, so that was great to see. And now we've got kids that are even younger starting and getting on this kind of world stage at a young age.
Well, you bring up Troy Brosnan. That's a great one because I just remember him as just a little guy, you know, 10 years ago out here doing the whole kid stuff and the youngster. But I'll tell you what, now you look at Troy Brosnan, not only he's such a solid competitor at Crankworx, but World Cups too, he's dominating as well. It's good to see what that can do. You can get brought up through the whole deal, and that's how you make it happen. Kidsworx is a big deal for deal. I mean, when it comes right down to it, right? It
definitely is. Like we said, you get to compete on the same courses that we have World Cup races, World Champions, Crankworx Champions, everything, you know. You get to watch them, ride the same courses, and kind of get used to the stage that we're setting, and hopefully one day become someone like Troy Brosnan.
So you're going to be a youngster and you get on A-Line for the first time, and then you can see what your times are, and your times can compare with the rest of the riders too as well. So it's like being able to compete, like you said, on the same course that the pros compete on, that's what makes it so much more amazing.
That's what makes it such a unique festival and series, and it's great that it's going all around the world. So like we were in Rotorua, and those people that don't get to travel to Whistler as easy can go and compete on the same courses that the pros do.
Yeah, and you think about it, it's not Kidsworx is not just for Whistler, it's on all four of our world stops. So Crankworx World Tour, large and in charge. The future looks bright when it comes to the kids, and John Moselle, there he is right there, Kidsworx DH champion, making his way down on this course here on Iconic A-Line. Here's a look at him right here.
Yeah, what a great opportunity for him. He's kind of forerunning before the top ladies come down here and then the top men. He's making his way down the famous A-line racetrack that we've had so many. Oh, sending it deep.
What?
Man, that is, if that's anything to go by for the future, we're in for a treat with this man. He's got some really good style. I like his technique on the bike, that's for sure. He can whip it out.
Well, it's the future when it comes down to it. These are the guys you're going to be seeing competing on the big stage at Crankworx. And we might even see him in best whip with the whips like that.
We might if he's old enough and eligible for it. But, I mean, that's great. He's kind of young age, having fun, throwing whips down on this track, giving the horns to the crowd. So that's, like I said, amazing feat and great opportunity for him.
All right, well, let's check in with Hannah Bernard. She's down in the mix. Hannah, what's going on?
Thanks very much, guys. Yeah, you've been talking all about Kidsworx, and I have the gold champion here in the 10 to 12 division coming down A-line. Talk to me a little bit, John, about what it feels like to be racing on such a legendary course and the same course coming down for the pros.
It feels super sick. It's just amazing experience. I'm so happy to do this. It's like, I don't know. It's just,
Well, you'll get used to me asking questions down at the bottom, I'm sure, soon enough. Guys, this is the future of Crankworx right here, John Moselle.
Oh, yeah, John Moselle right there. That is the future. And like I said before, Needles, the future's bright when it comes to kids like that and showing what they can throw down out here.
I think we're going to see more of him on this Crankworx stage and the world stage.
Let's take a look at the women's start list now. The women getting ready to drop in here on the iconic A-line here for your Fox Air DH. And taking a look at our start list, here's the one we're going to be looking at. You got Cecile Ravenel fresh off that win in the Enduro. Claire Bouchard, she knows this course more than anyone. Danielle Beecroft by Verbeek, Emily Seigenthaler, she got a podium too as well. And Jill Kittner going to wrap it up. And she's the one in the lead, and she's also the one trying to come up away with the 5P.
She is. I can't wait to see if she can pull that off.
Well, guess what? You don't have to wait much longer because it's all coming up. Fox Air DH, the pro women, they're coming up. Stay with us.
Because fast never goes out of style. Because epic rides should actually be epic. Because steep is relative. Code was designed to deliver massive power and predictable modulation for braking control when and how you want it, on the longest descents and under the burliest loads. Better, stronger, faster.
Crankworx Whistler brought to you by Kokanee. Kokanee, Glacier Fresh Beer. That's Kokanee. And just moments away from the go time here. Andrew Needling, Brad J here bringing it to you live from Whistler, your Fox Air DH. It's been going on 14 years on the iconic A-line. And the women are going to get this party started. And we're excited to bring this to you. You can see all the people filing in on the GLC right now. The GLC representing. Good to have everybody on out here too. Big crowd on hand. It's been an amazing week so far. And just think, we have so many more days left, Needles.
Yeah, it's great. You can go shred the bike park, do some laps with friends, family, whoever. and then you can come down like to the GLC, have some lunch, and watch it on the big screen when the pros are going to come down.
Maybe get a nice cold Coke anyway. You're out there too as well?
Maybe.
Maybe. You're out there having some fun yesterday, getting some laps in. We both had some chance to do some DH and having some fun yesterday on the hill.
Yeah, I've been lucky enough to have a few days off, so I've done some riding with my friends out on the hill, and I've also been checking out some of the courses to see what condition they're in. And it's really dry this year. They obviously had a really dry summer. We've had some fires up north. Luckily, it's cleared down here, so it's going to make for a more challenging race today because of how beat up it is.
So we talk about A-Line. I mean, it is more beat up than it has been. So you got to wonder what's that going to mean to some of the times. There's been some changes, but our first rider coming into view right now, Cecile Ravenel. She took the win on the Enduro, the Canadian Open Enduro presented by Specialized a few days ago. And let's see what she's got here today.
Yeah, Brad, she's won every Enduro this year except one at round 2. I mean, what an amazing feat. She still managed to take second place there. So we know her fitness is up to par here. We just don't know a lot about her on A-Line and how she performs in a downhill race. But if anything that we can take away from her performance, she should put in a good run. She's back at the split though, Brad. So she's going to have to push hard to make any of that time back in our current hot seat.
And when it's a short race like this too, we talk about A-Line, this is not, you're not a long race. So it's hard to stay in touch when you come back a few seconds, isn't it?
Yeah, she'll be used to longer races like 10 minutes. I mean, the first stage yesterday for her was 20 minutes. So she maybe needs to find some time to find her rhythm, and a downhill is more of a sprint for her.
And here's Cecile. Right? You got to be tired after the 5 stages that she competed in. That was back on Saturday in the Canadian Open Enduro, the 7th round of the EWS, and a big win for her on that one. Caroline Garrig, she's got the top time so far for the women, and Cecile's going to be out of touch by that one by 8.78 on that one, and she'll find herself in that 7th spot.
Yeah, she's obviously stayed here after the EWS to take part in the Whistler kind of festivities, do some riding, and then thrown a name in the hat here for the A-Line.
But talk about being fit. When you win 6 of the 7 rounds on the EWS, and the 2nd place is the only one that she did not win, that just shows you what kind of shape that she is in. So Claire Bouchard is up next for you now. Talk about Claire. She has done it in a big way out here. She knows this trail, I think, better than anyone else.
That's safe to say that. She went 3rd in Garbanzo in 2016, yesterday 2nd in Garbanzo, and even in 2014 she's won Garbanzo, so she knows all these trails like the back of her hand. She's opted for the trail bike here. It looks like a 29er trail bike as well. It's going to be interesting to see how those bikes perform out on this trail. We haven't had a lot of 29ers in past years.
Well, you got to think back to the 3rd place she had the Air DH in 2012. Look at that. She's in touch, 0.29. That's pretty good right there, but she knows this trail, so you got to think that she could hold on. She could take over that top spot, Needles.
Yeah, she's coming into the more downhill section of A-Line, these lower little woods. She's done all the hard work. All she needs to do is keep it together and push hard to the finish to take over that hot seat.
So the time to beat right now is at 4:34.86. Caroline Garrig, she's the one with that one. The Swiss rider put that time in, and you got to think that Claire in touch with it right now. You wonder if she can hold on and take the lead. Got some heavy hitters coming up. Daniel Beecroft, Faya Verbeek, Emily Seigenthal are still on the way.
Yeah, so it's a new section here, Brad. Coming over that big tabletop, coming to the finish. She's so on time here.
Look at the time. Check the time here. Here we go. The time in for 0.13 back. Claire Bouchard into 2nd place on that one for the local girl. And you got to think 2nd yesterday in the Garbo DH for Claire. And 7th place Air DH back in 2016. Her 3rd was 2012. Well, taking a look at our standings right now for the women, how it's looking so far, the top times and how they're stacking up. Taking a look right here. Here you go. Caroline Garrig with that 4:34.86. Claire not far behind with 0.13, Needles.
No, not at all. And Caroline coming off a really good result in the EWS, so she's recovered from all those long stages. Probably better than Claire, because Claire did the Garbanzo yesterday, and that is 13 minutes in itself. So that's very hard on the legs to recover in one day.
Now, Danielle Beecroft right now to drop in, see what she can do, trying to beat that time of Caroline Garrig, who's got the top time of the day.
Yeah, we saw a 3rd place in the pump track in Rotorua. She's the Oceania Continental Champion 2017, so she's really good and an all-round rider. One of the youngest riders in our field here of the ladies.
Now, you got to think 15th for her Air DH last year. So not the showing she's looking for last year, but she's young. She's on the come up. 2.8 out as she is behind Caroline Garrick right now.
Yeah, she's on a downhill bike from what I can see. So in these kind of steeper sections is where she can maybe make up a little bit of time on the other girls with the trail bikes. We'll see if she can pull a little bit back, but with so little track left, it's going to be so tough for her to get into that hot seat, Brad.
Yeah, when you have to make up time and try and keep it in touch, it is a short course on your Fox Air DH.
Yeah, and there's not a lot of things that can kind of differentiate the riders from each other. Like, there's not a lot of lines, so that to make up time down the bottom here is very, very difficult.
You see the time to beat, 4:34.86. That's 4:34.86, time to beat for the women right now. And she's out of touch with that one, getting those last pedal strokes in. She'll find herself in 4th place. 3.4 is where she is at, and coming up, we'll be seeing Via Verbeek on the way. And then we got Emily Seigenthaler coming up, Tracy Hanna, Caroline Buchanan, and then finally Jill Kittner, who is in the lead for the Queen of Crankworx. She's also the defending queen. And we got Hannah Bernard standing by with our current leader. Hannah?
Thanks very much, guys. Yeah, I'm here with our current leaders, currently sitting in the hot seat, Caroline Garrick. Now, you're sitting in the top spot right now, but you were just telling me how gnarly this track was coming down. Walk us through it.
Yeah, like it was pretty sketch. There were so many big holes that you had to make it through. And to actually race that track is so gnarly. Like, the jumps get pretty small all of a sudden.
All right, well, you made it down, currently in the hot seats. We'll have to see as the rest of the pro women come down. Brad?
I'm still.
Thank you so much right there, Hannah, checking in with us down there. And now we have Via Verbeek. She is on course now. She is off the podium from last year. 3rd place in the Fox Air DH. Oh, look at this. Check the time on this. 5.39. Wow.
No surprise there. She went on to win the air downhill in Rotorua. She's done many podiums at our Crankworx events. 4th in Rotorua DH as well. 3rd EDH Crankworx last year, so we know her pedigree. She's really up here. I mean, going to go into the hot seat here. Can't wait to see if the other girls can take down this time, though.
Well, yeah, you look at what she did. We talked about a podium last year, 3rd place. She'd like to turn that bronze into a silver or possibly even a gold, but needing a good run, and looks like she's having just that, Needles.
Yeah, she's carrying really good speed into the last tabletop. Goes quite deep there. In the kind of air tuck, coming over the finish line. She's going to take the new hot seat time here.
Check the time, 4:28.69. Your new leader, Via Verbeek, just like that.
Yeah, she managed to take another 2 seconds out of the girls just in the last kind of 30 to 40 seconds here of the track. What a great run by her on the trail bike, opting for that kind of choice today.
You think it's a good decision going with the trail bike over the downhill bike?
I have to say it is. I really think, like back in the day when Lopes was winning, he was on a kind of a hybrid bike. There was a trail bike, downhill bike, and all the guys going up against him were on downhill bikes. And eventually, when everyone started switching to trail bikes, that when he kind of took down the throne of Lopes.
Oh, yeah, that was Lopes when he was doing the 5 in a row there. And there's the leaderboard right now, Via Verbeek. Look at that. Extending the lead by 6 seconds over Caroline Garrick right there. And you saw Claire, she's in that 3rd spot, 6.3 back. And that's how it's looking for your 1, 2, 3 right now. As we take a look at our next rider, Emily Seigenthaler now. We got 4 more women to go here. Emily Seigenthaler, 3rd in the Garbo DH yesterday, 3rd in Innsbruck DH, 3rd in Leger DH, 2nd in Rotorua DH, but a top 10 finish last year here in the Air DH in 9th place.
Yeah, you are. You're hinting at something there. I mean, she's really going to be wanting to take that win. She's got a lot of seconds, a lot of 3rd places here at these Crankworx events. Our favorite Swiss rider, she's got podiums at Lenzerheide and Lords. She's far back, though. 5 seconds is going to be so tough for her to pull back, even in this downhill section here, that she will excel at. Oh, pushing hard there, kind of standing herself up in the corner, having to pedal out, not carrying that speed she wants to. She's clearly really pushing it. But here on A-line, it's such a fine line, because if you make a little bobble in a turn, you don't carry enough momentum in these long straights.
It's going to be definitely tough. Catching some serious air right there. But I'll tell you, it just shows you how fast Via Verbeek was with her time. Well, Emily Seigenthaler, talking to her earlier today, she was hyped on us. She couldn't wait to get out here. But she's going to be well back from Via Verbeek's 4:28.69. 4:28.69 is that time to beat. And she'll find herself in 2nd place, 4:34.11 for her. So we're going to check in with Hannah Bernard standing by down in the finish corral. Hannah, what's happening down there?
Thanks, guys. Yes, so we had a change in our hot seat. I have Via Verbeek here. Now, Via, you came out and you won Air DH and Rotor at the start of this season. Has that really helped you carry momentum into all these other downhill races on the season?
As for air downhill, yeah, it definitely boosts my confidence a little bit, knowing that I can do it. But I always try and remember how I felt back then, not being too confident, and just do what I do and know that I can do it.
And how is the track holding up?
It's good. It's pretty similar to practice. Couple little rocks, fist-sized rocks, just hanging around a little loose on the track, but it's all good.
All right, well, congratulations and enjoy the hot seat. Guys?
And now we go to Tracy Hanna on course right now. So Tracy Hanna, one definitely a threat to end up on the podium, Needles.
Yeah, winning Garbanzo yesterday. What is she going to have left in her legs? This track is extremely physical. All the pumping and pedaling that you have to do. She's coming into split time pretty much on par.
Okay.
0.16 back, Brad, but here we're going into the downhill section. She's opted for that prototype bike, which is more towards a downhill bike than a trail bike. Hopefully she can pull some time back in the more downhill section here.
That looked like a good turn up top right there, and you can see the time she's trying to beat, the 4:28.69. She's definitely in touch with it. How much is she in touch with it towards the bottom section here? Your Fox Air DH.
Yeah, holding that inside line over the roller, catching good backside. She's coming into the new section that they've built. Very fun bridge jump, goes into an S-bend and into the awesome new GLC tabletop. She needs to keep it low and power all the way to the finish as she has a chance. It's looking really good, Brad.
There we go, Tracy Hanna. Check the time now for Tracy Hanna. Can she do it? She does it! 4:27.73 into the top spot for Tracy Hanna. Wow, first in the Garbo yesterday. You thought, did she have anything left in the tank? She proved it right there. She does.
Yeah, that just shows you how fit her is because she made time going down the track. She was 0.16 back, but she managed to pull back almost a second in that downhill section in the trees.
Taking a look at our leaderboard right there. Tracy Hanna in that top spot. Via Verbeek is going to settle for that second spot. Seigenthaler now has been relinquished to that third spot with just two more women on course to try and upset the balance and the standings and see who can get on the podium.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to upset the standings of Queen of Crankworx as well. Tracy said if she does well in this, she might have to throw her name in the hat for slalom to maybe grab some points there and have a go at the Queen of Crankworx.
So it might force her to try and make that happen. Now, Caroline Buchanan, two more to go. She's been battling for the Queen of Crankworx as well. First in the pump track, Innsbruck, 13 in Leger and DH, and a 7th in 2014 Air DH. So she could do it.
She is, like we said, third place in Rotorua Air DH. She wasn't that great here last year, but she's been working on a downhill. This is basically a glorified BMX track, so it could really play into her hands. She's on par here for the split.
Oh, look at this, 0.41 for Caroline Buchanan. She's up right now over Hanna.
Okay, this is where it's really going to pay dividends on Tracy Hanna's bike selection. This is the more downhill section. She's bobbles. She stands herself up. She's going to lose time there, Brad.
That could hurt her chances right now. There's a look at Tracy Hanna. She's there. She's watching it right now. Caroline Buchanan with one more to go after her, and that's going to be Jill Kittner.
Is that mistake going to cost her in the woods there, Brad? I have a small feeling it might have, but she can carry good speed here. She'll be strong on the pedals coming from the BMX background, and she's really fit.
So trying to beat the 4:27.73. 4:27.73. 4:27.73. Can she do it? The time in across. No, third place for Caroline Buchanan. 4:29.30.
And then there was one, Brad. Going for the 5P, Jill Kittner.
So one more to go. We're taking a look at our points for the Queen of Crankworx right now. And we talked about it being a three-person race. This is how it works. 150 points for that first spot. Second, 100 points. And then it moves all the way down. 10 points for the 10th spot. And after that, no points given if you finish out of the top 10.
Yeah, so Tracy went and got 150 points yesterday, and it shot her up. So now she's really got a chance of taking down Jill Kittner, as who we see in the gate now, Brad.
And you see that Jill Kittner has elected for the downhill bike right now. She's going for the 5-Pete needle.
Interesting choice there. She's obviously practiced back-to-back. Our Queen of Crankworx last year. She didn't win the ADH in Rotorua, but she's, like we said, she's going for a 5-Pete of all things here. It's going to be take an incredible run not to win here.
It's been amazing watching her battle out with Caroline Buchanan during the pump track deal, but Jill Kittner needs a strong finish right here. She needs
she is up, Brad, 3.63 seconds. That is a big lead with only about half a minute of track, if not 40 seconds to go. She's looking clean through the downhill section there. So this bike is really, really paying off for her.
You saw that, right? The downhill section looking clean. That's where Caroline had the problem for her. Now, Jill Kittner needs to keep it clean all the way through. She looks like she is definitely in touch with that time of Tracy Hanna right now.
Yeah, she's riding one of the lighter downhill bikes on the circuit. She's opted for air front and rear. A lot of people are going for semi-slicks, tires in the back. It's really good for rolling resistance. So this is looking incredibly fast, Brad.
Jill Kittner looking for the 5-peat in your Fox Air DH in Whistler. Can she do it? Getting those pedal strokes across line. She's done it! She has done it! 5:24.18. Jill Kittner has taken the win, and she's completed the 5-peat here in Whistler in your Fox Air DH.
What an incredible run from Jill. All the pressure was on her to do that 5-peat, and she's handled it so well. What a great run. Tracy Hanna, also a good run, but a couple seconds back. Man, exciting finish.
And I think that also comes into play for the Garbo. You think about Tracy Hanna, she had to race the Garbo. That's a grueling race. That was yesterday. Jill not doing the Garbo, electing for this one today, and it paid off because she's a winner. The 5-peat has been completed, and let's send it down to Hannah Bernard with our champ.
All right, Jill, that makes it 5 gold medals here at the Fox Air DH. But it was a little bit of a different track here today, a little bit beaten up. Talk to us about your race down this hill.
Yeah, there's way more square holes and deep edges that can get you, and it's loose and dry. And I decided to ride my downhill bike for this one. Maybe give up a little bit on the rolling speed, but at least you don't overshoot everything and you just smash holes and rail the turn, so I had a good time.
All right, well, this is going to put you in a commanding lead for the Queen of Crankworx title. You opted out of doing Garbo yesterday to focus on this one, and obviously it paid off. Talk a little bit about that strategy. What helps you to become the next Queen of Crankworx?
Yeah, my goal is always to win 3, so 1 down, 2 to go.
All right, well, big congratulations, guys. Your gold medalist for the pro women, Jill Kittner.
Well, I like what Jill says right there. Thanks, Hannah. Her goal always is to win 3, and that's what she comes out here to do. And job complete on the first win right there. So congratulations to Jill Kittner. It's not easy coming away with that 5-peat because the bullseye's on your back. Everyone's gunning for you.
No, it's not. And there we have the result. Jill Kittner with a 4:24.18, Brad. What a time from her.
So Vi Verbeek, she'll come away with the bronze medal. Tracy Hanna will settle for that silver medal. And Jill Kittner, she is absolutely perfect. A 4:24.18, and that right there is the time that it took to win this thing and to win 5 straight right there. Big congratulations are in order right there for Jill Kittner taking care of the 5-peat. Ready, so she takes the win. It makes it 5 in a row. But there are the points. Wow, Needles, look at that, 790, that's huge.
That is a good little buffer because she's still got some big events for herself. She's got Pump Track tomorrow night, Dual Slalom, and obviously Canadian Open DH, where Tracy's probably more of a favorite there, but she's got a bit of a points lead and will obviously try to kind of work more on that.
Well, you know, winning the Queen of Crankworx, $25,000 richer. And if you have, you know, you're looking at what Tracy Hanna, maybe Tracy Hanna has to get in Pump Track too as well to get some more points on that, you know?
Yeah, she's got to kind of minimize the damage now if she has any chance of doing that.
All right, well, the men are coming up for you in just a little bit for you. We're getting them all ready to go. They are locked and loaded and ready to drop in on this course and see if they can challenge the top times and also increase some leads. We'll find out. It is all coming up for you in just a little bit. The men on the way for you in a little bit, but join us tomorrow because yet another broadcast coming your way. It is all about, we're looking about pump tracks, super awesome.
The Ultimate Pump Track Challenge presented by RockShox is all about speed, flow, and the battle for bragging rights. 3 races, 3 winners for the men, 4 riders with very real possibilities of taking the overall world title. For 2 women, it's game on. Buchanan, 2 wins, 1 silver medal. Kittner, 1 victory, 2 second-place finishes. Winner takes all in Whistler, tune in live on Crankworx.com to see who will take the Pump Track World Championship titles.
Oh man, that one's heating up because the battle between Buchanan and Joe Kittner is an amazing one down to the end. They are tied up for the series title for Pump Track, but the winner of that will take all. So if Jill wins, she's going to take the Pump Track title. If Buchanan wins, she's going to take the Pump Track title.
Yeah, it's not just one race. It's literally for the whole series tomorrow night.
It comes down to it. You know, and that's how it should be. Your fourth and final stop, you want it to be the battle for the supremacy.
Yeah, you couldn't write a better script. We didn't make these things up. We didn't pay anyone to kind of go slow in any of the races. It just happened like that.
Well, I'll tell you what, man, we look forward to that one, and you should too. Also check Crankworx.com for all the latest information. Hey, shirts off their back, something going on. It is also, it's so important. It's about the auction. You come out there and you can get jerseys from some of the top riders in the world. You can buy them, and then the proceeds go to something so amazing, just like this right here.
Yeah, great initiative. Like we said, guys, get out there, bid on these shirts, put them in your house, your local bike shop, or even wear them. Go out on the trail and pretend to be one of these stars, but it's all for a good cause.
Yeah, and you can see the prices right there. You can view all the items, and then you can make a bid on them and see if you can come away with the shirts off the back. Definitely for a great cause, and we wish them anyone out there trying to make a bid, trying to get one of those jerseys suitable for framing, like you said, you can wear it, you can go ride in it, you could frame it and put it up on your wall at home. All right, well, the men are getting ready to go for you in a little bit here. All right, well, Needles, let's kind of talk about some of the techniques that you need to be good at to make things happen in this event. First off, the one thing I do want to bring up to you is you got to talk about pre-jumping. What does that have to do with it?
Yeah, there's obviously a couple techniques you're going to use when you're coming down A-line. Here we see Slavik, there's Richie Root. So this is the pre-jump. You kind of get very light on your bike. It's for some of the smaller jumps, and the whole goal here is to stay as low as you can. So you absorb that lip as well as you can coming up to it, and you pump through it.
All right, pre-jumping, got that. How about pumping? Why is that important?
Well, this course is really fast. There's places where you can't pedal because you're going too fast or because you're going to clip the pedals. This is where you pump. So this is you kind of push down as hard as you can on these rollers and the back sides of the bumps. So kind of using the ground to push yourself forward as much as you can. That's the pumping.
Okay, pre-jumping, pumping. We got both those, but there's one more I want to talk about, scrubbing.
Yeah, scrubbing obviously comes from the motocross background. Bubba Stewart made it famous, but what that is you look for kind of lower parts on the side of the jumps and you carve up the lip, and the goal is, like we said before, stay as low as you can and get those wheels back on the ground. So here you see he comes up, he absorbs, carves up the lip, kind of whips it out, and he tries to get on the ground as soon as he can, and that's the way to win A-line.
Well, yeah, when the top times are in that 4-minute range, you got to scrub the speed. You want to stay low because the higher you get in the air, that's going to add time to it. On a short track like this, you don't want that. You want fast times.
Yeah, and if the jump's too big and it's a tall face, you can't pre-jump that thing. You're not going to be able to absorb the whole lip. It's too high, and that's where you have to go to the technique of scrubbing or at least pushing down on it.
So it's a package deal. You got to be good at all of them.
You've got to be able to execute all three of those down the track.
You got to be able to handle the pre-jumping. You got to be able to handle the pumping. You definitely got to be able to scrub your speed too as well over the jumps. Well, a man that we know a lot about, man, he's been doing this for a long time. Stacy Kohut now going to be coming down this iconic A-line. Stacy Kohut, man, he has been doing this every single year, and what he means to Whistler is a whole lot of goodness right there out of this man.
Yeah, I remember him coming down when my first time here in Whistler. It's really good to see him. He's kind of inspiring the generation to go out there and push themselves no matter what's going on in their life.
The injury that got him paralyzed and put him on the four-wheel bike, but you know what? Didn't hold him back. Some people would let that discourage him, but Stacy Kohut, year after year, comes back and charges it.
Yeah, it's great to see, and I like that he's come out here and he's supporting Crankworx. He does some on the mic stuff as well for everyone. It's good to see him out here. We'll catch up with him as well after his run. Yeah, and there's a good Red Bull video of him too, kind of showing you what he goes through on a daily basis to compete and ride down A-line and live here in Whistler. And the guy even ran for mayor at one time of Whistler. Oh, what a cool fact. That's a true story right there. Yeah, I think it's great to see. It reminds us not to take things for granted. We're all lucky to be out here riding, racing, having lunch at GLC, whatever it may be here at Crankworx. Well, talking to him a little bit earlier, he was saying it's a different A-line. The changes to the end here on the iconic GLC drop, that's changed things too as well. But I mean, Brad, look at the air he's catching and whipping it out. He's just cleared those big two jumps that come out of the forest there. Let's see what he does over the last one.
So Stacy Kohut coming down here towards the bottom in your Fox Air DH.
He's speed tucking to the finish. Man, guys, put your hands together for Stacy.
You can hear Whistler getting behind Stacy Kohut right there. One more time for Stacy Kohut coming down. Different style course, changes to the GLC drop. Let's see if we can get a word in with Stacy Kohut and Hannah Bernard standing by in the mix. Hannah.
Stacy, always such an inspiration to see you come down A-line and absolutely just shredding. But this is a bit of a different course. It's a bit more blown out than other years. Talk to us about your race down this track.
Well, you had to be really smart with line choice. The lines that were there 2 days ago aren't there today. You had to watch out. There's little rocks, little sniper rocks. They want to get your tires. They want to eat your tires, give you a flat. So you got to be smart with line choice. And sometimes you just got to relax a bit and let the race come to you. And I found that the more I relaxed today, the easier it was. Of course, I was really nervous about that last jump.
All right, well, big congratulations. It's always such a pleasure and such an inspiration. Guys, give a round of applause for Stacy Kohut coming down A-line in 4 wheels.
Oh, man, that's a feel-good story right there. Stacy Kohut, I had the pleasure of working him for many years. It's always good to see what he can do here. And there's taking a look at the start list for the men that are going to be coming down A-line here. You can see all the way down. Max Manson has made himself earned a spot in the pros. Keegan Wright will be seeing. Bass going to try to defend his title. Adrian Larone hungry for some more points. And Shark Attack Jack Moyer going to be coming down there. He'll be our last guy to drop in. And Jack Moyer third in the Garbo DH just yesterday. So taking a look at the current leaderboard. Now the guys have been charging this course all day long, but taking a look at our leaderboard right now to show you how those times are looking. Lee Jackson has that 4:11:39, and that's the time to beat right there, 4:11:39. But we talk about the course, man. It is a blown-out course. It's probably in some of the toughest conditions that anyone's had to ride it in all the years since this started in 2004 for your RDH.
That it is, and the guys went faster than that time last year, but it was a bit of a different course here down the bottom. So we suspect that that time is going to drop with the faster guys throughout the pack.
And so next year we'll be able to judge the times correctly for this year because of the changes that were made, correct?
Exactly that, Brad. We'll have a new kind of time to beat for the future.
And that's what is all about. Well, Cody Kelly and the rest of the guys are going to be coming down here in just a moment. Big congratulations once again. Jill Kittner, 5-peat. That's huge.
Yeah, she handled the pressure with ease, it seems. We don't know what she was feeling under that helmet. Great run for her. Opting for the downhill bike, which is a little bit of a surprise, but the course is beat up.
Because we talk about that. People are talking about trail bike, talking about the downhill bike, saying maybe the trail bike has the edge. Well, Jill Kittner has proved the downhill bike definitely worked for her. Worked enough to complete the 5-peat and winning it 5 in a row here in Whistler. Well, that's a done deal. So we've seen the women. They're all done for the day, but it's all about the men. They are coming up for you. The pros. That's right. They're on the way to challenge the times, your Fox Air D8.
We're trying to make a drivetrain that works better. We're trying to improve upon the things that we had done.
Introducing the all-new SRAM GX Eagle drivetrain. No matter what kind of rider you are or the kind of terrain you might ride, Eagle is simply the best. GX Eagle drivetrains have a range of gears that rival or flat out beat most 2x systems. Engineered in Germany, made for the world. This is GX Eagle.
Crankworx Whistler, brought to you by Dose.ca, your entertainment fix. Dose.ca. So our current leader, Cody Kelly, he is holding on to that #1 spot, but there's some big heavy hitters coming your way. And, you know, guys, you got to compete like Bass Van Steenbergen, who's going to be coming down there, and he's last year's winner. Let's take a look at Bass. I mean, it was kind of a surprise, but his bike handling skills are solid, but I don't think anyone picked him for the win.
No, no one did pick him for the win, but he came out and he delivered. Opted for the trail bike, like we're going to see later. He's doing it again. Super hard on the pedals here. He was keeping it very low, doing those scrubs we spoke about, Brad. And doing the pumping as well when he was up to speed. And he came low on the GLC drop. He just came and he bombed through Harry Heath's time.
Well, you know, the Fox rider, Bass Van Steenbergen, when you're a Fox rider, you're winning the Fox RDH. That was a special victory for Bass last year, taking the win here in Whistler.
Yeah, what a great feeling. I mean, if to win a race is one thing, but to win a race when you're absolutely not expecting it, that's probably one of the best feelings in the world.
So does that change for him? So that puts pressure on his back now that he's a defending champ from last year?
Yeah, exactly that. I mean, there's no hiding that it puts added pressure, and there's a different expectation you put on yourself when you're practicing and all those things, you know?
Yeah, there's a beautiful look at the GLC. Everybody enjoying their time. But let's talk about, we talk about Air DH, and you talk about 37 opportunities for air. Are you kidding me, man?
Yeah, it's 37 opportunities that you need to try squash, scrub, and pump to get down this course faster than anyone.
You don't want the air. You want to scrub the speed, and you want to stay out of the air, don't you?
Exactly that if you're going to win. But when you're riding with your buddies, then it's an amazing opportunity to catch some good air.
What a great day indeed. Great day indeed. Well, I'll tell you what, Chris Kovarik is going to be the guy to come down next. And this guy, we talk about Claire Bouchard knowing this course. Chris Kovarik, he definitely knows this course when he comes down.
Yeah, he's a legend of mountain biking and a legend of Crankworx as well. He's obviously moved up here, started a team, Kovarik Racing. But I remember growing up, him just crushing events here and on the World Cup circuit. Him and Nathan Rennie just putting Aussie DH on the map even more than it was at the time with the flat pedals.
Well, let's talk also about Crankworx. You know, Crankworx.com is the website, but Crankworx on Facebook is quite important too as well. I mean, if you want to keep up to date on every single deal when it comes down to Crankworx, Crankworx.com, but Facebook is a good way to be in touch with Crankworx too, right?
Yeah, sometimes a quicker way for you to do it. If you're on your phone, you can link some of the videos, your favorite moments, like, share, comment. It's a great community to be part of.
So also make sure you get on there. Crankworx World Tour, you can follow on Facebook and also Crankworx.com as well. And if you're doing all the hashtags, make sure you hashtag everything Crankworx as well. But I'll tell you what, there's no excuse. If you want to know what's going on with Crankworx, this is how you get to find out what's going on with Crankworx. Well, let's take a look at our standings thus far. Cody Kelly, 407.47. Is that time? Can that time challenge for a podium?
It could do, Brad. I mean, he's got 3.68 on the next guy in Remy, Gavon, Lee Jackson, Henry Fitzgerald. So it's a very good and competitive time for Cody Kelly. He's suited for this kind of track. He's got the fitness from Enduro. We see him putting his name in the hat for Pump Track.
Well, that's what you want to do. The more events you compete in, first of all, you talk about series. So there's a downhill series. So the more downhill races that you compete in throughout the whole Crankworx World Tour gives you points for that overall series. But then you look at the King of Crankworx, you look at the Queen of Crankworx. Well, you really got to compete in almost everything to try and win that title, and that'll make you a little richer.
That's such a fine line, though, obviously balancing all the events. Sometimes you got to pick and choose, and sometimes you just got to try do them all and grab a bit of points.
Well, taking a look, Chris Kovarik will be coming up. We'll be seeing him. Mike Day, Olympic silver medalist right there from BMX. Mike Day is going to be coming up. Mitch Ropolato, he's had quite the season. Austin Warren on the way. The Kiwi Matt Walker, we're going to be seeing coming up here.
Yeah, there's a stacked field here today. A lot of guys from different kind of genres of riding. Mike Day, a BMX guy, but he won Sea Otter. So, you know, it's kind of my dark horse, but let's go over to Chris Kovarik.
Well, he definitely knows his way around A-line for sure. Chris Kovarik now coming in. Let's see what he can do and see if he can challenge that 407.47 that Cody Kelly has.
Well, if a man can do it, it'll be Chris Kovarik. The Thunder from down under. I mean, he's one of the first guys to just put flat pedals on the map here. He's honestly such a brute force on a bike, manhandling his way down the track here.
And right there, 3:31 and ticking. Let's see if he is in touch with that top time. The 407.47 is the time, Cody Kelly. That's the time to beat. Let's see how he works in this downhill section. Nice.
Yeah, he's still doing a lot of downhill, obviously putting together a team here, doing a lot of coaching, which is great, giving back to the community of Whistler. But he's no slouch on the racetrack anymore.
Yeah, he's capable of putting the time in. Especially, I feel like the more you know this course, the more you know A-line, the better you have a chance to get up on a podium time. So let's see where he comes in here. As you see down here on the Fox Air DH, Chris Kovarik coming across. The time to beat, he's well off that one. Can he get up in a podium position? 4:13.23, he's gonna settle for 6th place for Chris Kovarik. So Cody Kelly, that time's not being challenged, Needles. 4:07.47. Let's check in with Hannah Bernard down with our current leader. Hannah?
Yes, thanks very much, guys. Had a chance to catch up with Cody Kelly, and you were telling me about the endurance that you need in order to compete in the EWS. Talk about how that transfers over to a downhill race such as the Fox Air DH here today.
Yeah, for sure. Like this race is super physical on just your, like, not for pedaling, but your body as far as like hitting all the holes and the breaker bumps, and we're tucking a lot, so we're just basically doing a wall sit for 4 minutes. But yeah, no, it was good. Like, I had legs all the way to the finish, so I was stoked.
All right, well, you're sitting in the hot seat right now, but we got a lot more men coming up, guys.
I like what he said, I had legs. Think about it, man. He raced 5 stages the other day in the Enduro. That's not easy to have legs even a week later after that.
Lennon, I probably need a month or 2 to get recovered back to come in here. Now we got McKay on course for the Giant Factory Off-Road. Fairly new on the scene, but he's really been putting some great results in top 15 finishes at EWS results. 17th here at this EWS for Crankworx.
So Vizina right there, making his way down, trying to beat the 4:07.47. That's Cody Kelly put that one. Let's watch him in the downhill section here.
Yeah, hard on the pedals out of that corner. Not a lot of track left for you, but you've just got to maintain the speed that you're carrying. This is quite a fadeaway jump, keeping it low. It's going to pop out the woods here. There's a hip tabletop. Opts to land on the right there. You get a bit more landing space if you do that instead of going to flat.
Well, let's see how he gets here towards the bottom, if he can challenge the time. 4:07.47, that is the time to beat. Your Fox Air DH. Here we go. Okay, Vizina coming across, the time going to be for him into 2nd place, 4:09.01. McKay Vizina with that one right there, off by 1.54 off the top time of Cody Kelly. So that will finish his day out there, but you can see that he nestled into that 2nd spot. That's going to put Gavin down to 3rd, Jackson down to 4th, and Fitzgerald's going to be bumped into that 5th spot right there.
Yes, we've got quite a lot of the EWS riders coming out here doing the A-line. They're very used to these bikes, Brad. They're obviously riding the trail enduro bikes.
Well, you think it's been 4 days. So it would take, you know, a normal person maybe a month to get over those 5 stages, but these guys have done it in 4 days, and they're ready to drop in here and try and put some fast times in.
Yeah, it's barely a stage on the EWS. I mean, it's basically a quarter of the first stage that they were made to race from Top of Wood down into Creekside the other day.
So we got a bunch more racers to come here on A-line here in your Fox Air DH. Andrew Needling and Brad J here bringing it to you live. And we'll take a look at, we get a chance to see Mike Day. You know, Mike Day kind of showed up a couple years ago and started competing on Crankworx, and he kind of went away for a little bit, but it's good to see Mike Day coming back and trying to throw his name in the hat and get back up on there.
Yeah, he had an amazing BMX career, and I think he just got a bit burnt out. Obviously, he went to Olympics, got that silver medal. I mean, what an amazing feat. But I think when you work so hard to get something like that and you achieve that silver medal, you sometimes burn out on all the training and work and kind of having to be so single-minded focused. And I've kind of hung out with him a bit and sounded like he wanted to change. And he came into mountain biking a bit, went away. He's actually had some children, so he's kind of changing his lifestyle. But
well, that's why he wants to get out of the house.
Yeah, now, yeah, I guess so. And then we saw him, he just popped up at Seattle 2016 and won the whole thing.
Now, we should have seen Mike Day by now, so I'm not sure what happened on course here, but this is about the time he would have came into view. So not sure. With Cody Kelly, he just stays in that hot seat right there. So Cody Kelly, 4:07.47. Can that be challenged by the rest of the crew?
I'd hate to say it. It will be challenged. I think we've got some amazing riders coming up. They've been focusing on this event. Bas van Steenbergen, Jack Moore. Who knows, maybe Mitch Maropolato. He's got extra motivation for the King of Crankworx.
Yeah, you got to think that Mitch Maropolato definitely has motivation because he knows that he is still in touch with that. But then, you know, you got Adrian Larone, too. He's a guy that has the lead for the King of Crankworx. But remember now, if Adrian Larone does not finish in the top 10 here today, then he will get no points for this, and that could give Jack Moore a chance. Shark Attack could have closed the gap between him and Adrian Larone for the King of Crankworx.
That is the unfortunate thing. You come out here, you're trying to get points, and you get something like 11th, and you've wasted all that energy when you could be resting maybe for your pump track tomorrow.
And that's
a bit of a risk you're going to have to take.
That happened to him last year. That very thing happened to Adrian Lerone when he got into that 11th spot.
All right, guys, we've got Mike Day on track. He's hopped in on the factory off-road giant for this week here, pedaling so hard over those tabletops. This course really does suit him. Tall, lanky guy coming from the BMX background, opting for that enduro bike. He's hard on the pedals, putting in more pedals than I've seen before from other riders. It looks like he's back though, that split time. We don't have proper official splits, but he needed to come through there and probably a 3:29, Brad, so it looks like he's a bit far back.
Yeah, because 407 and where he's at in that downhill section, that's good. He's not going to be able to stay in touch with that 407, 407 of Cody Kelly. But just good to have Mike Day back on course and competing at Crankworx.
Yeah, so something might have happened to him. We don't know. We'll have to see if we can check in with him at the finish or just hear from him later. It's nice to see him out here, like we said. Had an amazing, illustrious BMX career. Now he's opted for something new in mountain biking, kind of keeping it fresh for himself.
And Mike Day outside that top time of Cody Kelly's 407.47. So 16.67 off for Mike Day, but great to have Mike Day, Olympic medalist, competing out here at Crankworx.
Yeah, he didn't look too happy, kind of cruising to finish on it. Didn't look like there was much urgency crossing that line. Something could have easily happened high up on course that we missed.
Well, taking a look at the leaderboard right now, there it is. No changes there. Cody Kelly still in that top spot. McKay Vizina did his thing, just 1.54 off top time. Little room between Vizina and Remy for number 2 and number 3. And Lee Jackson in the 4th with Henry Fitzgerald rounding out your top 5. Mitch Ropalato, Rope-a-dope himself, trying to see if he can mix things up for the King of Crankworx.
Yeah, he's probably got more talent in his small finger than we do in our whole bodies, Brad. This man can ride any type of bike on any type of course if he's motivated to do so on the day. He's pushing hard on the pedals.
Well, I think the King of Crankworx title is going to motivate Mitch a little bit more. And he knows that if he could beat Lerone and Lerone finishes outside that top 10, that could be a big shot for Mitch Ropalato.
This could be in touch. We're looking at the split. Could be a second or two down, but he's really, really in touch with Cody Kelly's time. Coming through the downhill section here, carrying good speed through there.
Hey, it looks good. Getting the
power,
pedals.
yeah, power wheelies out of that turn. Looking for the pump. He's pedaling through the bump, keeping it low. He's on one of the bigger new bikes that Santa Cruz brought out, one of their more high-travel enduro bikes.
And here we go. Mitch Ropalato.
It's going to be close, Brad. He's coming. He's in touch. He's going deep.
Mitch Ropalato, here we go. Coming across. Check the time for Mitch Ropalato. Can he do it? Second place, 0.83 off for Mitch Ropalato. Hey, that's good for him. That's very respectful, even though he doesn't take over the top spot. Remember, all Mitch needs to do is get more points for the standings for King of Crankworx, and that's what he's trying to do right now, is get as many points as he can to try and catch up to Adrian Lerone.
Yeah, he wants to stay near that hot seat and in the top 10, just to make that worthwhile for him.
Well, let's check in with Hannah Bernard, see if we can get a word with Mitch Ropalato down there. Hannah?
All right, guys, I have a very out-of-breath Mitch Ropalato. Bit of a struggle getting down. Mitch, talk to us about your race down this hill.
It was good. Fell my butt off. Had a couple good scrubs. But holy cow, man, there's some sprints in there. It's like 10 of those dual slalom races in one.
Well, you're obviously in the hunt for the King of Crankworx. You got a top 10 finish in Air DH here last year. Looking good for another one here today. Talk to us about all the events that you're doing in the rest of the week to go after that King of Crankworx title.
Yeah, we got a lot of events left. So right now, I kind of messed up in Garbo. Got like 13th. I think they only give points top 10. So today I was like, all right, gotta be on it. So yeah, whenever I get in the top 10, it's pretty good.
Well, it's a marathon, not a sprint. You got a lot more events coming your way. Congratulations on the second place right now, but we got a lot more pro men coming down in just a few minutes. Guys?
Well, here's the standings that we keep yapping about here. Adrian Lerone, 625 points. That's 125 over Moyer. And then you see 400 points, Mitch Ropalato. So Mitch just trying to kind of inch his way towards Adrian Lerone, see if he can knock him out of that top spot for the man out of Ogden, Utah. All right. Needles, kind of walk us through this course. I mean, you've won it here on A-Line before. Talk to us about this course.
Yeah, so here at the start, he's just dropped in. You've got to be really good on your braking and not brake in the turns because you've got momentum. You've got to come out of the turn. Sometimes there's a jump or something. You can't pedal. You can't make any more speed. So you've got to have made the speed in the turn. Yeah, we've crossed the first road gap. There's some little tabletops. Here again, this is a fast left. You don't want to touch the brakes. It's quite scary and loose. Here again, these jumps you're hitting a little bit fast for how they're designed because they're designed for a bike park when you're having fun. When you're racing them, you end up going to flat. So this is where those scrubs come involved, like you see this guy. You want to go off the side of these jumps as much as you can because the dirt kind of is a little bit lower there and you can stay lower. It's kind of a flat section here. You want to be on the pedals. Now again, you want to set up high. You want to miss these bumps. And this is where it's really hard on the legs. There's kind of rollers, rollers, rollers into tabletops. You're squashing, you're pumping. It's so physical.
And there's Kieran McKinnon now dropping in. He's our next rider, the dude doing it for Santa Cruz and SRAM right now. We'll see what he can put down. Can he put a fast time in here?
Yeah, strong American racer. Coming off a 15th at Mount St. Anne just last week.
That's solid stuff right there.
Yeah, second in a Pro GRT early in 2017, so he's no slouch on the bike. I don't know a hell of a lot about him, but he's been doing very well. This, to me, looks like a very fast split, so I spoke too soon. We're about to find out more about him.
Hey, take a look at this. 407, 47. Remember, Cody Kelly's got that. Through the downhill section, looks solid right through there. Getting pedal strokes when he can get them in.
Yeah, he needs to keep it together here. Not a lot of track left, staying low there. He's got the roller to navigate, then he's going to come out the woods. Like we said, opting to land on the right there. There's more landing there, so you don't land as flat.
So can he challenge that top time, the 407.47? Cody Kelly, you can see him watching on. He can do nothing now but just check it out from the hot seat. Here we go. The time in. Look at this. Kieran coming across first place. 406.58. Cody Kelly will have to move off the hot seat. There's a new man in town. Kieran McKinnon now just taking over the hot seat with a solid run top to bottom on A-Line.
Yeah, clearly, very fit. Like we said, he came off 15th at Mount St. Anne, so he's on some good form here. Coming into A-Line, really put down a hot run there, Brad.
Yeah, he kept it close. I mean, you still have a lot of guys to come right now, but with that time, that's going to be the new time to beat, and he's pretty happy with that one. So Cody Kelly will move over to that second spot. Mitch Ropalato into that third spot. And make way for Kieran McKinnon now. And you can see the guys out of breath. We talk about line chase, so important out here today, that's for sure. Now it's Matt Walker, first place, Crankworx Rotorua Air D8. So Matt Walker took a win in his home country. Can he get a win out here today in Whistler? We'll see.
Yeah, great result from a hometown there in Rotorua. Coming from the BMX background, you can see it. He's really hard on the pedals, squashing those jumps. He's an extremely strong and fit rider, so I think he can really do a good run here today.
Now, winning in Rotorua, well, that's a mountain that he knows quite well. You got to wonder, I mean, obviously he's going to know Whistler too as well, but he's out of touch right now with a 2.67. That's pretty hard to make that up.
That's going to be difficult to reel back here. He's in the downhill section, coming into there. Very good through that turn.
Good turn, yeah.
Also, doing a bit of a speed tug, so either he's lost his chain or he's out of breath there. Yeah, he's opting for that pump technique, Brad.
Taking a look right here, kind of taking that same line choice with most of the other riders taking right there.
Yeah, I remember one year I decided that it was lower on the left, so I tried to squash down the left, and I went straight to flat. So I'm glad the riders opted for that right line. It works way better.
Look at the time here. Check the time for Matt Walker. Not going to be the top spot, but a top 5. Very respectable finish for Matt Walker, 409.46. All right, well, let's send things down to Hannah Bernard. Standing by with our current leader, Hannah.
All right, guys, I'm going to have a word here with the guy in the hot seat, Kieran McKinnon. Now, I just asked you, have you ever raced here before, and you said no. How does it feel to be racing down such a legendary track as A-Line?
Yeah, it's awesome. I didn't really know what to expect. So, yeah, I mean, I felt fast in practice, but, you know, you never really know until you race, so it feels great.
Talk to us about your race just down the hill just a few minutes ago. How did you feel about it?
It was a good run for sure. I always knew it was going to be real physical, hard breathing, but it was really more than I expected. So we're a lot out of breath right now.
Thanks for your time, Kieran. Guys?
Yeah, well, Kieran can do nothing but wait now. Now you got Magnus Manson coming up for you. He's made the jump into the pros.
Yeah, having a very good junior career. Got second at Worlds in Val di Sole last year. Coming off a second at Pro GRT, stop number 2. He won the junior air DHL last year, so is that something that he can throw his name in the hat to with the elites the first year?
Oh man, that would be a big one for him to be able to pull that off.
He's right in
Wow.
touch. He's only 0.37 back going into the downhill section. From what I saw, he's opted for a downhill bike, so that might play into his favor here in the downhill section, holding good speed there.
Well,
he's a big, strong rider for a junior, but man, he's in touch on that bike.
We saw Jill Kittner electing for the downhill bike for her, so it worked for her. Will it work for Magnus Manson now?
Yeah, we asked Bass about that. I mean, he said that he's opted for his trail bike because he feels it faster, but sometimes feeling does not correlate to the race time.
And that's what Kieran was saying. He said he felt fast, but you don't know until you actually are racing. 4:06.58, that's the time to beat. Here we go, Magnus Manson coming across. Check the time, #1 spot for Magnus Manson. Hello, hot seat. 4:05.72, wow.
Yeah, no stranger to winning the Fox Air DH as a junior. He's come out here, first year elite, opted for the downhill bike. Clearly a strong and fit rider to put a time like that down on this track.
Well, saw him compete on some of the Northwest Cup stops a few years back, and I knew that he was on the come up, but showing a fast time right there for Magnus Manson. That's good stuff out of him right there, but still a lot more riders to come. Let's take a look right now how things are stacking up. Well, look at the 5 spot. Vizina, 4:09. Ropalato, 4:08. Kelly, 4:07. McKinnon, 4:06. And Magnus right there, 4:05.72. And now we're going to get a chance to see Joe Smith. Joe Smith, an 8 in the Garbo DH. That was yesterday, so a top 10 finish for him.
Yeah, he's a quiet rider from UK, but he lets his kind of racing speak for itself. New team for him, strong in his national series at home, but this isn't his national series. This is the Crankworx stage, and he got 5th in Innsbruck, so he's having a pretty good season coming into Whistler here. Not known for doing well in A-line, but let's see. He's on flat pedals. It might hold him back a little bit.
Well, Joe Smith out of Great Britain, you said 5th in Innsbruck, also 5th in Rotorua too as well, and then 8th yesterday. But Garbo takes a lot out of you, Needle, so you got to wonder, can he stay in touch here?
Yeah, it's extremely difficult to hold speed the whole way down, especially flat pedals. He's up for a trail bike. He's going to get bumped around a bit more as well. And like you said, does he have the legs after yesterday? And it's very difficult to recover in one day.
I tell you what, yeah, that's one heck of a race, the Garbo. And they talk about A-line being one of the toughest shapes that it's been in. Garbo is in tough shape too as well. So you know he put in a lot of work yesterday.
Yeah, whipping it out. He's on a good run, though. No slouch in this A-line here.
And Joe Smith crossing the time into 7th place. 4:09.57 for Joe Smith out of Great Britain. All right, let's check in with Hannah Bernard, standing by with our leader. Hannah.
Andrew, you were just talking about this is your first time in Elite. You won this event in the juniors last year. How comfortable do you feel in the hot seat in the pro division here today?
Not very comfortable. There's a lot of fast guys, a lot of guys I look up to, so just gonna see how it does.
But you felt good about your run?
Yeah, it was scary. I think the downhill bike's good because you got a little bit more travel, you can push harder, but yeah, it's fun.
Who's your new favorite rider?
I don't think it's changed. It's always gonna be Stevie. He pushed so hard and it's sick. So he's going to be my favorite forever, I think. Yeah.
All right, thanks for your time, guys. Magnus Manson sitting in the hot seat right now at the Fox Air DH.
A tribute to Chainsaw right there. Thank you, Magnus, for adding that one in there. Amazing competitor all the way through. Keegan Wright. Now, Keegan Wright was competing in the Canadian Open Enduro, but got knocked out stage 1, had problems, and could not get back to compete all 5 stages. So he's somewhat fresh, I got to think.
Yeah, you do, and he won Pump Track in front of his home crowd in Rotorua, and what a good spectacle that was to see. Definitely fit, doing enduro, things like that. That's going to play into his favor, and like you said, he's a little bit back here on this split, though, so he's not going to be able to kind of knock Magnus off the hot seat from what I can see.
Yeah, well, Keegan Wright also in Rotorua, his home area, 8th place for him in the DH there, so a top 10 finish in Rotorua early in the season.
Yeah, he's been a strong all-around rider, and he throws his name in the hat for a lot of the events here at Crankworx. Not sure how well he's doing in the King of Crankworx. He just hasn't had the season he was hoping for all throughout.
Well, you got to finish strong in your skill set. And if you're strong in pump track, you got to try and be top 3. And if you're strong in dual slalom, you got to try and finish top 3. So wherever you can finish in the sport, in the disciplines that you're good at, that's how you get it done.
Yeah, you really need to focus on those ones, like you said, the ones you can podium or get a win at. You need to maybe even pick and choose and really focus on them to bump up some points.
Yeah, and that's what Jill Kittner's saying. She comes out and she wants to win 3 events. She knows her 3 events, and those are the ones she wants to win. So Magnus right there still holding on to that top spot right now. There's only about 15 more riders to go to upset the balance here and see if they can knock him out of that top spot. But Magnus doing it in a big way. You see your top 5. Kay Vizina in 5th, Mitch Ropolato 4, Cody Kelly 3, Kieran McKinnon 2nd place, and the Canadian Magnus Manson 4:05.72 with 3 Americans right below him, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th.
Yeah, Mitch is going to have to hope for a lot to kind of keep onto that top 10. He's already in 4th. There's still 15 riders or so to go.
Yeah.
Some of our best riders out there coming down on A-line.
Yeah, and, you know, Mitch just wants to also finish above Adrian Larone, too, because they're battling it out all the way. Taylor Vernon up for you next.
Yeah, Taylor Vernon, he had an unfortunate crash at a Crankworx event back in Les Deux Alpes. It's great to see him. He bounced back, got back an injury, went on to the Trek Factory Racing. He's moved on to a new team. He's still on the Trek bike, Junior. And I just like seeing him out at these events. Like I said, he's had some horrific injuries and push back, bounce back, and not letting it hold him back.
It is part of the game. Injuries definitely are part of the game, but how fast you can bounce back, like you're saying, is the key. And look at this, bouncing back solid right now.
Yeah, he is. Taylor Vernon, one of the smaller riders on circuit. It's going to be tough for him. He's a little bit back at that split, so it's going to be very tough for him to hold speed.
Yeah.
This race has always favored the bigger people and the fitter people.
You see him carrying a lot of air on that one all the way across that, landing low on that transition, so hard to keep the speed up on those.
Yeah, and opting for the downhill bike. It's good to see a mix of bikes here. Like we said, we've seen 29 a trail bike. Cody Kelly came down. We're going to see Jack Moore. I know he's on a 29 trail bike versus some guys on 650B. I think it's nice that we're mixing it up. Well,
Taylor Vernon just going to settle for a top 30 right now, so well outside. 13.79 back on that one of Magnus's time. As we still have a bunch of heavy hitters and a lot on the line coming up for you. There's Magnus right there enjoying his time in the hot seat. And you'll see Cody Kelly in the 3rd spot, McKinnon number 2, Manson number 1. But we got Dakota Norton coming up, and here's a guy who comes to the Crankworx a few years ago. I think it was 2 or 3 years ago. Not a lot of people knew much about him, but he surprised people quick in giant dual slalom and came out swinging. And he's trying to improve on that and continue to get respectable results.
Yeah, he's a skilled pump track rider as well, like you said, and he came out 1 dual slalom. Everyone was like, who is this guy? And that's what Crankworx does, and they're so good at doing, giving people that stage to perform. Like we're seeing with Magnus, he probably didn't expect to be in the hot seat at all, same as McKinnon. And maybe you need to kind of not be expecting it to do well yet at A-Line. I know when I did well, I didn't expect it either. You know? So you're not thinking about the win, you're just thinking about how to ride the course as fast as you can.
So in 2011, when you were about ready to drop in A-Line with the year that you won it in your Fox RDH, what was going through your mind? I just want to be top 10?
No, I had no idea. No, I was pushing for a podium, absolutely, but the win was definitely not something I was expecting to do. Obviously, you always hope to win, but you're just focusing on your lines and how to get your run as good as it can be, and that's what you need to do. And the problem after you win, which I also felt, I came out here expecting and wanting to win every other time and started messing it up, trying too hard.
Well, I mean, you got a good taste because 2009, 2 years before you won, you got the bronze medal in the Fox RDH. So that was kind of like, okay, I can do this. I'm in touch with some of the top riders. I got a 3rd place. I took a bronze, and 2 years later, you come away with the gold.
Yeah, and I think that's what we want to see from Bass. Hopefully he can stay present, stay in the moment, and just focus on his run at hand and not think about the accolades, prize money, I don't know, the Coke and eat beers afterwards. So he's really just got to stay present and do the best he can in the moment.
Well, unfortunately, we're getting word that Dakota Norton had a mechanical, and that's going to put him out of the mix. So we're not going to be seeing Dakota Norton be able to challenge the top. So right now, that's a pretty good thing for Magnus right there, holding that top spot right there. And, you know, there's another guy out of the way. So he just got to try and hold on as long as he could and see if he can come away and on top, take the win.
Yeah, it could be quite the result for him coming in first year elite. I think that's pretty special for him, same as McKinnon. He, like we said, he didn't expect to be there. They're on the hot seat. Cody Kelly's been there for a long time as well.
So when you're running the course and you're practicing and you're running it and you feel like you're fast, but you never know until the times actually come in, right?
No, that's the thing. That's what we hear a lot of riders saying, I feel fast or I think it's fast, but you never actually know until you go and lay down a run in front of everyone.
All right, let's check in with Hannah, see if we can get a course report. What's happening down there, Hannah?
Thanks very much, guys. Yeah, you just mentioned that Dakota Norton had a mechanical, and we're not going to see him coming down the hill today. We're also not going to see Kirk McDowell, who is next up in the lineup. He actually broke his foot yesterday, so unfortunately that takes him out of this contest here today.
Oh, that is an unfortunate turnabout because Kirk McDowell, you know, he had solid stuff in Innsbruck in the downhill, 6th place for him out there. That was a solid finish for Kirk McDowell. So unfortunately breaking his foot, he's out. Dakota Norton, he is out with a mechanical.
Yeah, he was clearly coming off some good form, so we never want to see any injury, so hopefully he bounces back very quickly.
Well, you know, injuries are definitely part of the sport, but if you're looking to help someone out, here's how you could do it right here. I'll tell you, Guga Ortiz, one of our own, he was injured during training and trying to raise that 30,000 goal, and he's up at 18. He got injured out here in Whistler. So you can help out too and get your donations in there, and hopefully we can get him back to a healthy status for sure. And you can see where he's at right now. Not too shabby right there, 18 out of the 30 trying to raise. Yeah, mountain bike community always steps up when it comes to a fallen comrade. So taking a look at the leaderboard thus far here as we get into the thick of things here. There you go, Cody Kelly, 4:07.46. McKinnon in that second spot. Manson right there making the big leap in the pro division with that 4:05.72. So he's got to feel pretty darn confident with that one. So about 11 more to go as we get back into racing action for you right now.
Yeah, Rupert Chapman, our 2016 New Zealand champ, he loves coming out of Crankworx, has a lot of fun, does a lot of the events, coming to the 6th place at Lord's in the beginning of the year. A little bit of rain soak and a bit of luck, but he'll take it. Always one of the best guys to go riding with, smile on his face, super hard worker. New team for him, going to Pivot Factory Racing.
But also another guy who competed in the Garbo yesterday too, a top 10 finish in Garbo. So does that tire out the QB? Look, 8.24 back. So doesn't look like Rupert Chapman is going to be in this one right now.
Yeah, it's difficult to bounce back from that. We're going to see Marcelo, who got 5 in a row of all things in the Garbo, but he's also extremely fit. We're going to see him later. Rupert Chapman chooses to compete in all the events, and like we said, sometimes that takes away from the event that you're really wanting to do well in, but, you know, he likes to compete in all the events.
Is that one of the things that you just bite off more than you can chew? You're like, you know what, I'm going to do all the events. And then when you start going back to back and you're getting tired, you're getting burnt, then you kind of rethink that a little bit?
Yeah, it feels good and you make the decision, then the reality sets in and you start having to change bikes, run around, do different practice. It really does wear you out. But I mean, it's great to see the guys try all these events.
Well, talking to a lot of the riders, when it comes down to it, they say the same thing. It's the practices that get you too as well. It's not the competition that gets them as much. It's the practices, because you have a heavy practice schedule. And sometimes they don't line up with the other races that you're competing at. Let's take a look at our leaderboard right now and show you why he is in charge. Yep, there he is, top spot. But look at your 3. That's Cody Kelly in 3rd. 1.75 off the top time. 0.86 for Kieran McKinnon. He's off. So those are all really close times right there, with Magnus Manson having the top one at 4:05.72. So 4:05.72. That is the time to beat. But we got some big dudes coming up to see if they can challenge that time. Stay with us. It's your Fox Air DH live from Whistler.
Because fast never goes out of style. Because epic rides should actually be epic. Because steep is relative. Code was designed to deliver massive power and predictable modulation for braking control when and how you want it, on the longest descents and under the burliest loads. Better, stronger, faster.
Crankworx Whistler, brought to you by Whistler Mountain Bike Park. Love the feeling of being truly awake. Well, if you're joining us and you're watching us at home, where is Whistler? Well, right here, a little slice of awesomeness. You can see us. There's Needles right there. No, actually, you can't see us, but this is Whistler, and this is what it's all about. Why is it so special here, Needles?
What an amazing place. I remember coming here for the first time in 2003, and I couldn't believe it. 3 lifts, 97 trails, up to 1,600 meters of vertical. How can you not have an amazing time here?
Iconic A-line, and then you got top of the world, one of the most amazing places and the most amazing views ever, and some very technical terrain up there at the top of the world.
It might be one of the most picturesque places I've ever ridden my bike. Going up to top of the world. I've also done peak-to-peak chair. I just can't believe the vast majority of these trails and the views that they have.
And that's one of the things about top of the world. You get the whole other view of the backside looking out there, where you don't see that very often unless you go to the top of the world. And if you've never done it and you want to pull the trigger and come up here to Whistler and make it happen, well, if you get here, definitely get a lift pass and get up to top of the world if you got the skills to drop in up there. Taking a look, there's a peak-to-peak chair, right, the gondola right there. I was taking a look at our leaderboard right now to see where we are at. Well, Magnus Manson, man, welcome to the big leagues, man. 4:05.72, putting up the fastest time. That's holding up.
Exactly that. Straight into the big leagues and straight onto the hot seat with 10 or so riders, 11 riders still to come.
All right, well, let's see if we can get a word in with Hannah. I think some of the guys we're not seeing. So, Hannah, what's going on down there?
Hey, thank you very much, guys. Well, all day we've been talking about the evolving story of how beaten up this track is, and it had another victim with Dakota Norton, as you mentioned. He came down, he actually got a flat back tire on the second corner at the top of the track, so really disappointing finish for Dakota Norton. He was feeling really good coming into the Fox RDH, but lucky for us, he's going to get that bike fixed, and he's going to be in dual slalom on Friday, so we'll see Dakota Norton very soon.
An unfortunate turnabout for Dakota Norton, unable to get there, but he's a guy that can actually do it in dual slalom, as he did when he broke on the scene. Also, he can do it in pump track as well.
Yeah, that he can. Unfortunate for him, but that's part of the sport. That's part of racing, Crankworx, all those things. Injuries do happen.
And when, you know, you're talking about a 4-stop world tour, DH, of course, is one of the deals that you can win the series title. But let's take it back to Rotorua. This is in March on the Air DH, the first Air DH of the 2017 season. What a beautiful place it is. If you've never been to Rotorua, please get out there. Take a look at the ladies. Well, this is how it worked out for your Air DH in Rotorua.
Yeah, Via Verbeek coming off some podiums in former Crankworx events. She probably didn't expect it either, which we've been saying a lot about unexpected wins here. She came out on a trail bike here in the Air DH, a track that mimics the A-line here in Whistler, so that's great to see in another side of the world. She had a pretty flawless run, and she managed to take the win there.
Well, and she beat Jill Kentner, so that was something that was not expected, and maybe in her eyes it was. Now for the men, it was time for the men to take to it.
Yeah, Matt Walker taking an inside line there. Hometown boy in Rotorua from the BMX background, but also very fit, doing EWS, downhill, all of those things. So it really played into his favor, this course there in Rotorua. Holding a lot of inside lines, riding the shorter track that he could there, and holding speed all the way to the finish, and he managed to take the win.
Yeah, and Thomas Slavic ended up with the silver out there in Rotorua, and Bas van Steenbergen, who won it out here last year, he was the guy with the bronze.
So yeah, Bas van Steenberg had a good result there, but even better was last year when he took the win here.
Yeah, and that was a big one for him, and that was the first time doing the Air DH, other than doing it in Whistler. That was the first time we'd done it on an international stop. So now let's focus on our next rider right now. Oh, who do we got here?
Oh, the crazy Frenchman, Cedric Gracier.
Now,
not a lot we can say on camera about the man and what he's up to lately.
But we can say something about him. First in the Garbo, 2004. Second Air DH, also that very same year, 2004. A lot of those results are over a decade ago right here in Whistler.
Yeah, Cedric was definitely a big fan of Whistler. He's been coming here ever since it began. I remember my first trip. He was out here getting podiums, popping champagne, causing trouble in the bars. Nothing really has changed.
No, he seems like he's just, you think that maybe with age he mellows out, but no, Cedric Gracia staying on point to his true form that he's always has been.
Yeah, he still loves to compete, still loves to race. He calls himself semi-retired, but I mean, he's done a lot for the sport. He's done amazing things, getting results, podium wins all over the world, pushing French downhill, putting them on the map there alongside Nicolas Villiers and the likes of the big greats back in the day.
Look like he gave a little look back right there, Cedric, as he comes across here towards the bottom. And your Fox Air D8s, here's the legend himself, Cedric Gracia.
Yeah, he's having a good time out there. He's always the showman, whether it be on the bike or off the bike, and a real character of the sport.
Well, you think about when he was winning, too, back in 2004, 5, and 6 out here in Crankworx. The progression of the bikes has changed dramatically since the years that he was doing all that.
Yeah, I mean, you see him now. He's riding normally a 29er on his trail bike. He's doing some EWSs, doing a lot of vlogging, causing a lot of trouble. So Magnus still sitting in the hot seat with McKinnon there. Two of the guys that said they didn't expect results like this.
Well, Magnus right there holding on that top spot. Well, Barry Nobles is a guy that I want to talk about, too. There he is right there. Barry Nobles coming up for you. Now, he's a guy that actually even has tricks for speed and style. He's even talked about trying to do slope style. He's great in pump track, and here he is on the Fox Air DH.
Yeah, from the BMX background, I spoke to him just before he went up, actually. He said the key to this race for him is not burning himself out in the first 30 seconds. A BMX track, only 30 to 40 seconds long. This is a BMX track times 8. It's 4 and a bit minutes. He said he's really got to kind of reel himself in to put down a good run. He's a little bit back, but nothing too shabby, though.
Yeah, 7.74 for Noble, so he won't challenge the top. And he's kind of out of touch for the king of Crankworx and not going to be able to finish in the top 10 here, it looks like.
No, but we'll see him in pump track. I think he'll have a real good go at pump track tomorrow evening. He's getting used to this downhill racing, even though it's a smaller version of downhill here on A-Line. But it's nice to see him and Caroline come out here and really focus on the Crankworx events.
Yeah, and I was also speed and style. He was expected to do good in there, had a little bit of trouble with that, so that kind of cost him on that one. So not seeing him get up on the podium over there. But, you know, we got pump track tomorrow, and he's always a threat to win in pump track. Here comes Barry Nobles across the line, 23rd, 4:15.99 for Nobles. So what he will do now is just focus 100% on tomorrow's show. Also, giant dual slalom for him, too, is something that could be solid. So there's a look right now, okay? We talk about King of Crankworx. See, you got Mitch Ropalata on third. Jack Maury, who's coming up. He's got 500 points behind Adrian Larone. Adrian Larone has a whole lot of points, 625 points for the King of Crankworx. And he has said, Needles, that he wants that title so bad, he's willing to compete in everything. He's worked on tricks for speed and style. He's worked on his downhill. And here he is right now, Adrian Larone, current leader right now for the King of Crankworx and fresh with a win from the Cliff Speed and Style from back on Saturday.
Yeah, working on those tricks clearly paid dividends. Having a big win in the dual speed and style and rocketing up that leaderboard at King of Crankworx. But he really needs to put in a clean run here and stay in the top 10 because someone like Jack Moore is a threat. Jack Moore can win this event, and if he doesn't gain points, Jack Moore can actually leapfrog him.
Look at
the time. Oh, my goodness, that is fast.
What?
So Adrian Long working on his downhill, not just his tricks. Up at the split, coming through the downhill section here. Looks clean, needs to be hard on the pedals here. He doesn't have a lot of course left here, but this is going to be a fast time.
Magnus can do nothing but watch now.
Staying low, getting some pedal strokes in. He's coming out of the woods. Will he opt for the right line? Yes. Takes it to the bank on the right, pumping all the way to the finish here. Over the bridge, staying very low. Getting through the chicane. How low can he stay on this last tabletop?
Well, here we go.
Sending it deep, carrying good speed, Brad.
Adrian Larone, check the time for this man right here. Can he do it? 4:02.17. Adrian Larone taking over the top spot. That is exactly what he needed to do in the race for the King of Crankworx.
Man, that is what a run. And when he needed to deliver, he's gone and done it. That could be vying for top spot for the day, not just a top 10 for points.
Well, 150 points are what you get when you get the win. So if he can hold on, see, there it is. 150 points for first, 100 points for second, 75 for third. Last year he finished 11th in your Fox Air DH and got no points at all and did not win the King of Crankworx. Thomas Slavic did. So this was very important. That's a very important finish for Adrian Larone. Well, our next guy, man, he is first from the Fox Air D8s, the defending champ from Whistler last year, 2016. Some people called it a surprise. A lot of people weren't picking him for the win. Yeah, top 5, but no one picked him for the win, but he did it, and he won it last year.
Yeah, and he backed it up with a 3rd place at Rotorua Air DH early in the year. So it wasn't just a fluke victory. He's got the speed to do it. Staying very low, scrubbing there, Brad.
And he knows this hill. He knows A-line.
Very hard on the pedals, crossing the road. He's opted for the trail bike, like he said. He's set it up more like a downhill bike that it can be, so it's really robust. It's going to get good through these sections. He's down on the split. Adrian has really put in a stormer here. He's 5 seconds down.
How did Adrian Lerone put in that time right there? He's really been working at it.
So clean, holding good speed through the downhill section, through the S-turns. Man, that just shows you Adrian Lerone is not just up for points. He's out here for the win. He wants that point, and he wants the King of Crankworx title. Bass needs to push hard. That is not the run he was looking for. Staying low there, coming out of the woods. Couple more pedal strokes, staying low over the last jump. Inside through the chicane. Step down.
4:02.17, the time to beat. He's not going to be able to get that one right there. So here comes time. You're not going to repeat. Bass van Steenbergen not able to do it, but a top 5 finish, 4:07.65 for Bass. So Adrian Lerone, large and in charge. And let's send it down to Hannah Bernard, standing by with Lerone. Hannah.
Adrian, you keep on proving to us what a strong overall mountain biker. You've been working on your tricks in dual speed and style. You got the gold. You've been working on your downhill. What was it that worked for you coming down A-line today?
It was a tough one, I think, like for everybody. So I tried to keep my riding clean from top to bottom and pedaling only where you're supposed to pedal. And I've been working a lot, like physically training a lot, and I think it helps a lot for this kind of race. So pretty happy about the run from today.
Well, we are all rooting for you to get a podium with that King of Crankworx title coming out this week, guys. Adrian Lerone sitting in the hot seat right now.
11th place last year, Needles. 11th place in your Fox Air DH. And he is charging it. So he's trying to be the current King of Crankworx. Well, this man right here is the King of Crankworx from 2016, Thomas Slavic.
Exactly that. He's got to take the title away from a man, a former world champion in 4-cross. 2nd place in the dual speed and style yesterday, opting for lesser tricks than Adrian. What can he do in the downhill? He's also far back here. He's opted for a bigger bike than Adrian did. He's kind of got a mini downhill bike with a triple clamp fork. Not known for his downhill at all. I'm super impressed with Adrian's riding to put that time down on this track. Brad, this track is, yes, we call it a glorified BMX track. It's fun, it's flowy, but you're going so fast. And how the man like Adrian is so used to downhill speed is really, really impressing me.
Well, Adrian Lerone has said time after time, he is working on everything. He wants that King of Crankworx, and he's not going to let anything stand in the way from him taking that away.
So Slavic, no slouch on a bike. Needs to work a bit more on his downhill, but he's been doing well in dual speed and style. We'll see him in pump track. He's way back here, though, and not going to get points for that overall.
Yeah, that's not going to do it for him. 14th, 4:12.73 for Slavic right there. He's done for the day. And Adrian Lerone, 5 more to go right now to challenge that one. I just can't believe it, because you think about Adrian Lerone, 11th last year, got him no points, and Slavic goes on to win the King of Crankworx last year, and Adrian Lerone ended up in that 2nd spot. He does not want that mistake again. McKinnon in 3rd, 4:06.58. Matson in 2nd, 4:05.72, and Lerone, 4:02.17 with just 5 more to go. So guaranteed, Adrian Lerone's going to get some points no matter what.
That he is. It maybe really hurt him last year that he didn't get points. Back to Sam Blankensop.
Well, here's a guy who can definitely take the win out here. He was 10th at the Canadian Open Enduro, 2nd in Garbo, 4th Air DH in 2016, 2nd Air DH 2015, 2nd Air DH 2010. Could this be the year of the first for Blanks?
And will he have the legs after competing in the Garbonza yesterday and getting 2nd? He's an extremely fit rider. A lot of body English on the bike. Pedaling wherever he can, opting normally to pedal more than pump, even pedaling in the air. He's on point here. He's only 1.29 back. With his downhill skill set, can he bring it back here in the trees here at the bottom of A-line?
This is an important turn for him.
Oh, bit of a stab there on the brakes. It's not as clean as he wanted to get through there. Hard on the pedals, pre-jumping that jump. pedals again, opting for more pedaling than other guys that are tucking and pumping, Brad. Coming out of the woods here. He needs to really get on the pedals. I think Adrian might be safe, though. 1.29 is difficult to bring back on this track.
That's for sure. Here we go to the bottom section. Sam Blankenship trying to beat a 4:02.17. Can he do it? No, he's out of touch. Second place for Sam Blankenship, 4:03.26. Adrian Lerone, he's safe, still on top with the fastest time of the day.
That is a huge run for Adrian Long. Great run for Blanky as well. I think Adrian, I hate to say it, but even safe for a podium here with that time. Kicking off Blanky, who's had a lot of podiums here. He's got ahead of him by a second. Only 4 riders still left at the top.
But boy, Sam Blankenship, so many second places. Could this be another one for him in the Fox Air DH? 4:03.26. You see, there is a little bit of room between number 2 and 3. Once I just keep going back to last year, Lerone finishing 11th last year, but he comes out this year on A-line saying, I'm a new man, I'm training, I'm gunning for the king of Crankworx, and right now, he's on the top spot.
Yeah, this is really a shake-up for the books and the overall title. We thought he might not be getting points today and you have to focus on dual slalom and pump track.
But we have Joshua Button coming up, Jacob Dixon, Marcelo Gutierrez, and Jack Moyer all still to finish. Here's Joshua Button, the Aussie.
What a great story. Josh Button used to race back in the day, racking up some very good results, decided to take a little break from it. Then got the opportunity to come out to Cairns World Cup and went straight back and got a podium. And after that, Kona said to him, well, why don't you come do the rest of the races? Unfortunately, he suffered an injury at Fort William that year, and he's been building back up to speed. And here we see him. I didn't expect a huge run from today. He's a little bit back here. Like we said, he's building back from injury, getting back his confidence out there.
Let's see how he handles the downhill section here. That looked good.
Yeah, opting for the trail bike. We'll probably see him in Canadian Open later in the week, put in a good finish. And the world is going all the way to Cairns in a couple of weeks' time.
Well, 13th in Leger in the downhill out there in France earlier in the season, so a top 15 finish for Button out there. The odds he's going to be out of touch with the podium here today as he comes down the Fox Air DH course here on A-line. Airs that one out, and he'll cross the time for him. That's going to put him in the 21st spot, 4:14.66. That's going to do it for Joshua Button. With 3 more to go, it looks like, between this one.
Yeah, we're unfortunately not going to see Conor Fair and his teammate. He injured himself in Andorra and thought his hand wasn't too bad. Apparently he's had to have an operation, so he's going to recover. We're not going to see him in the events here, unfortunately.
So Marcelo Gutierrez is the guy they're going to see. Now, what do you talk about Marcelo? He's been crushing in the Garbo, gets yet another win in the Garbo DH yesterday. Will you think he have the legs to be able to come down and put a fast time in?
Yeah, he's one man that could have the legs after Garbo. That's why he won Garbo. He's so fit and strong. He got 5 wins in a row. I mean, that's basically unstoppable on that race. And here is his teammate, Jacob Dixon, young rider from Ireland. Had a 4th in Innsbruck Crankworx. So really putting some results in, coming off a 9th at Mount St. Anne. I think we're going to see a lot out of this guy in the near future.
And also finishing in that 12th spot yesterday, Garbo DH, so top 12 for him behind his teammate, Marcelo, who took the win yesterday, who will be coming up next. And then we'll see Jack Moyer.
Yeah, Giant known for kind of handpicking and investing in the younger generation, bring them up through the ranks, and then sometimes they move on. He's a little bit back. Like we said, we haven't seen a lot of him in a race like A-Line, but very, very capable on the downhill. So he's coming through the downhill section. Yeah, holding very good speed there on his Enduro trail bike. We're going to see his teammate. He's still at the top after winning Garbanzo. But Dixon's got a lot to kind of help him through these A-Line and Garbo events with Marcelo. Going deep there.
Yeah, that costs you a little bit of time if you don't land up high in those transitions right there to keep your speed going. And here it is, airing that one out. Jacob Dixon, that one's for the crowd right there. Out of touch with the top time, but he'll check in his top 20 finish. 19th, 4:14.38 for him on that one for Jacob Dixon. So right now, what that means for Adrian Lerone, no matter what, he's going to be on the podium. Is it going to be 3rd for the bronze? Is it going to be silver? Or is it going to be gold? Well, Marcelo Gutierrez and Jack Moyer still to come. And you got to think Shark Attack Jack or Marcelo could have a chance to knock Adrian Lerone out of the top spot.
Yeah, if any rider could do it, it'll be those two still at the top. But we've got Adrian Long, 402.17. Sam Blenke, podiumed here before. He's behind in second. Magnus Manson still holding on to third.
Magnus, that was kind of a little bit of a surprise, but, you know, he's in the big leagues now, 3.55, not too far back. Blanky, he's always a threat to be up in the top three. And Adrian Lerone right now in first. And he started out the week in Crankworx with a big win in the Cliff dual speed and style. This was amazing to see him do this because he had been wanting this, and here he is against Thomas Slavic, looking so solid, Needles.
He was looking so quick, and like you said, he's been learning tricks. He's got flip, tuck, no handers there, something we didn't expect to see. Again, flat 3. Slavic opting for the kind of speed version, but he had to throw some tricks. But Adrian keeping him honest all the way to end, plus throwing the tricks.
Well, and Slavic, we didn't see any tricks out of him in that entire Cliff dual speed and style. He got zeros on all the trick scores, but he was so fast that he stayed in it and came away with the silver medal. But Adrian Lerone, the golden boy from Cliff dual speed and style, and right now sitting in another gold position. If he could get the win today, 150 more points, extending his lead for the king of Crankworx. So Marcelo Gutierrez up for you next now. The winner of the Garbo, multiple Garbo winner. Does he have the legs left to be able to put in a fast time, Needles?
Yeah, a man that lives at altitude back in Colombia. Extremely, extremely fit, strong, and dedicated rider. Like you said, 5 wins in a row in the Garbo DA.
Wow.
But he was 5th here last year in A-line, so he's been working on his A-line strategy, and it is paying off. So we will see something out of him, hopefully.
Well, Fox Air DH, his best was 4th place in 2014 for Marcelo. So he's put in a good time there. He's 3.10 off that top time.
Yeah, that's going to be so tough to pull back here in the downhill section. It's just a little bit too much of an ask to pull back 3 seconds with only like 40 seconds of a track left. And there's not a lot to separate you here at the bottom. Adrian Lerone looking very safe there. Now, worst case, 2nd position. But Marcelo, what can he do? Can he slot into a podium position here and bump Magnus off?
That's what he's trying to do now. This is the time to do it. If you're going to put it together, now's the time. Marcelo Gutierrez trying to see if he can get up in a podium position. Doesn't look like he'll challenge the top spot, but can he get across in time to get on the podium? Here we go. The Garbo winner from yesterday. 3rd place, Marcelo Gutierrez right there. That's a podium position if he can hold on to that one.
So he does just that. Slots into 3rd position. Bumps Magnus off. What a great ride for first-year elite. What can the last man down the hill do? Can he knock off Adrian Lerone?
But big props to Marcelo Gutierrez right there. I mean, winning Garbo again, and then coming out the next day and doing it solid in 3rd place. Let's check in with Hannah Bernard, who's standing there in the finish corral. Hannah.
All right, guys, I am back. We have one rider to come down A-line right now. That is Jack Moyer. He is sitting in the 2nd spot in the quest for the King of Crankworx title. How much does that play into your mental state right now?
You know, I already did my job. I can't do way better, I think. I'm not a downhill rider. I'm already here on the podium, pretty stoked about it. And let's see, it's coming in, I think, 2 minutes and something, so we're going to see.
Well, you're either going to end up with a silver or a gold. Only time will tell. Jack Moyer coming down right now.
Well, I mean, he's either going to take 150 points or he's going to take 100 points. But I'll tell you what, who are they talking about? That man right there, Shark Attack Jack. With one guy left to knock you out of the top spot, that's the guy you don't want coming up.
No, you don't. Having maybe the season of his life. Third in Garbo last year, winner of the Rotorua Downhill back at the beginning of the Crankworx Festival. He also took a 2nd at Fort William. So like we said, form of his life. That's probably the one guy you don't want up there.
Yeah,
the quiet-spoken Aussie.
Like you said, 3rd in Garbo. 3rd in Innsbruck DH right there. The crowd waiting to see Jack Moyer come into view. Like Adrian said, he can't do anything right now. Here we go. Shark Attack Jack, Jack Moyer, the Aussie right now, currently in 2nd for the King of Crankworx. Can he knock Adrian Lerone out of that top spot? It's going to take one heck of a run.
Yeah, Adrian Lerone's fate sits in Jack Moyer's hands here. What can do? Staying low. He's opted for the trail bike from Intense, a 29er. He's a tall rider, so it's probably a guy that benefits from the big wheel size. He doesn't look like he's putting a lot of effort in his riding, but it's so deceiving. He's carrying such good speeds. I've noticed it on all year. It doesn't even look like he's trying. He's back, though.
4.8 back. That's nearly impossible to make up. Adrian Lerone could take the win here. Can Jack Moyer do something and stun the crowd here at the end?
Man, that is an unbelievable run. But let's see what Jack can do. Can he pull any time back? Can he get back into a podium position or something and kind of decrease some of this problems he's going to have for the king of Crankworx here?
You see him scrubbing speed over that one right there, trying to keep it low.
So he's coming here over the bridge, keeping it low. Through the chicane, he's got one last shot, but Adrian Lalonde can breathe a sigh of relief. He's going to take the win here, but bring home Jack Moore.
Yeah, Adrian Lalonde's going to take the win. Where does Jack Moore go? The time in 9th place, 4:08. Can you believe it? Adrian Lalonde, he doesn't even call himself a downhill racer, but comes out dropping bombs and wins. His second win out here in Whistler. What?
What a week for him already. 2 wins in 2 events. That's actually going to take the pressure off him. Maybe he's going to just ride with no expectations throughout the rest of the week. He's built a buffer up now.
Well, the craziest thing about it is Adrian Lalonde, who's like one of the favorites to win Pump Track, which is tomorrow. He has so much going for him right now, taking a win. Doesn't even consider himself a downhill racer, but shows today that he can do anything.
Yeah, I am blown away by that. Like we said, yes, it's smooth in places, there's jumps, it's BMX track, but it's so fast. You need to have some sort of downhill experience.
Well, Marcelo Gutierrez, congratulations. A win yesterday in the Garbo. How about a 3rd place today? Sounds good. Samuel Blankenshop, 2nd place, just 1.09 off. He'll take the silver medal. And Adrian Lalonde, his 2nd win. Cliff Dual Speed and Style took the win there. Fox Air DH takes the win. Let's send it down to Hannah Bernard with our champ.
Thanks very much, guys. Yes, I'm standing here with your gold medalist here in the Fox Air DH, the first time ever in a downhill race walking away with the gold medal, Adrian Lalonde. Now, earlier this season, we called you the king of 2nd places. Well, haven't you proved us wrong this season? You're walking away with so many golds all year long. Tell us how this feels to take another gold here today.
This one is pretty special for me. I've been dreaming about this one, and last year I thought it was impossible for me to win the head EH because everybody is so fast, but I made it today. It's another dream come true.
You got 11th in this race last year, from 11th to 1st place. Talk about all of the training that you've been doing to prepare for this.
It was only 3 seconds, but it took a lot of work for sure, a lot of preparation, physical preparation, and technical preparation. I have I think the craziest bike I ever had before. Working with my sponsors, working with my coach, training in different countries, different races, and I think that's how you can make it.
And we've been talking obviously about the King of Crankworx title. You're now sitting in a commanding lead with 775 points, but there's still some guys hot on your tail. So let's talk about looking forward into the rest of the week going into Pump Track.
Pump Track is tomorrow. I know from last year's that you can't wait. You have to keep going till the end. It's going to be a tight one, I think. And I'll try to recover as much as possible to be in shape for tomorrow and smash it again.
Well, a big congratulations. Another gold medal for Adrian Lalonde, your champion here at the Fox Air DH.
He smashed it right there, Adrian Lalonde. Well, tomorrow it's the Pump Track Challenge presented by RockShox. Oh man, Talk, I can't even believe what we just witnessed out of him right there today. I mean, 11th to 1st, like no points to all the points. Wow. And then you think about this, this is one that he's favored to win. Not only this, he can do good in Ultimate Pump Track Challenge, but he can also do good in a Giant Dual Slalom. He can do it all.
Yeah, and we're going to see those 2 girls going head to head for not just the win tomorrow night, but the series championship. Jill and Caroline. But Adrian Lalonde, what a crazy, crazy turn of events.
Look at this. The king of Crankworx standings after Adrian Lalonde just snagged 150 points, extending his lead over Jack Moyer, who's got 515 points. And then you're going into a specialty event that caters to Adrian Lalonde. Man, it looks like he could cinch this thing up pretty quick if he just keeps doing what he's doing.
Yeah, I think with a win in Pump Track, he could just do that. He could actually claim the title, but we're not going to speak too soon. We've got Mitch Rapalata and Jack Moore, still with a couple events each themselves.
Yeah, because you got more coming up. Final thoughts on what we just witnessed here today, Niels?
I'm absolutely blown away. It's the event that kind of has, you need to be kind of unexpected to win. I think if you put too much expectation on A-Line, you kind of blow it, and Adrian Lalonde has blown me away with that win.
I feel completely guilty because I counted him out a long time before this thing even started, especially from his 11th place finish last year. But I'll tell you what, he's worked in the offseason. That man deserves it because he came out swinging for the fence on this one. Well, what a beautiful day it was indeed, and congratulations goes out to Adrian Lerone, extending his lead over Jack Moyer for the King of Crankworx with one of Adrian Lerone's specialty events coming up tomorrow. But then you got to give it up to Jill Kittner once again. The 5-peat. That's like 8 podiums in the air DH for Jill Kittner. She is just strong as ever, and she's going to go in trying to defend that title and see if she can take the series for the Pump Jack tomorrow. But all congratulations going in to Lerone on the win.